This is me at 5 years old, salty before jumping into this beautiful still pool of water. I soon found out the hard way that this pool is completely empty because the ice cold water is near freezing and literally takes my breath away. Even though I already know how to swim, I can't get off the water surface no matter how hard I try. That's the last thing I remember trying to do before breaking out. Turns out the lifeguard on duty had been chatting with two girls when I jumping in and I wasn't underwater so he can't actually see or help me struggle. I was eventually saved by a girl working near the pool who happened to look down and see me. The next time I know I'm getting more mouth and being rushed to hospital treatment and extent of my brain loss. If I had been flying at the water surface, the lifeguard would have to notice and come to save me. I certainly that experience because it illustrated how dangerous things are when they lie just beneath the surface. Today, I study empirical based in startup, which I consider to be for me far more insidious than mere offer based for this very same reason. When we see or had an investor behaving inappropriately towards an entrepreneur, we are aware of the problem and at least have a chance to do something about it. But what if there is a difference in the interaction between the store and entrepreneurs then it can have further outcomes? The fact that we are not conscious of that we can directly see and hear. This is me at 5 years old, shortly before jumping into this beautiful still pool of water. I soon found out the hard way that this pool is completely empty because the ice cold water is near freezing and literally take my breath away. Even though I clearly know how to swim, I can get up the water surface no matter how hard I try. That's the last thing I remember trying to do before breaking out. Turns out the lifeguard on duty had been chatting with two girls when I jumped in and I wasn't when the water so cold actually see or help me struggle. I was eventually saved by a girl waking night in the pool who happened to look down and see me. The next thing I know, I'm getting more the mouth and being rushed at the hospital to determine the extent of my brain loss. If I had been flying underwater surface, the lifeguard would have noticed and come to save me. I said this near this experience because it illustrates how dangerous they are when they just beneath the surface. Today, I study engagement in startup which I consider to be far more insidious than may offer big as for this very same reason. When we see or hear an investor behaving inappropriately toward an entrepreneur, we are aware of the problem and at least have a chance to do something about it. But if there are subtle differences in the interaction between investor and entrepreneur that can affect their outcomes, difference that we're not conscious of that we can directly see or hear. This is me at 5 years old, salty before jumping into this beautifully still pool of water. I soon found out the hard way that this pool is completely empty because the ice cold water is near freezing and literally takes my breath away. Even though I already know how to swim, I can't get up to water surface. No matter how hard I try. That's the last thing I remember trying to do before breaking out. Turns out the lifeguard on duty had been chatting with two girls when I jumped in and I was sound underwater so he could actually see or hear me struggle. I was eventually saved by a girl walking near the pool who happened to look down and see me. The next time I know I'm getting more the mouth and being to the hospital to determine the extent of my brown loss. If I had been flying underwater, surprised the lifeguard would have noticed and come to save me. A sadness did experience because it illustrates how dangerous things are when they're just when the surface. Today, I study implied gender bias in startup, which I consider to be far more insidious than mere offer bias for this very same reason. When we see or hear an investor behaving in a brutally toward an entrepreneur, we're aware of the problem and at least have a chance to do something about it. But what if there are subtle differences in the interaction between investor and entrepreneur that can affect the outcomes, different that we not conscious of, that we can directly see or hear?